Certainly somebody will be running the offense by not the name of Rhett Lashley in 2022.
Absolutely. What's up, guys? How y'all doing today, man? It's a good feeling to see a coach like that be able to go off and get a head gig. Especially he was there 2 years ago, so there's a great connection. Some of those players that he recruited are now there for him, as a head coach. So that's a beautiful thing for Coach Rhett, and we're happy for Coach Lashley at Miami. He was a very good person to our players. Never really. The only thing we ever had against him was his, the dive up the gut. So, and for all we know, maybe it was just because Derrick King was hurt and he couldn't do certain things. Because let's be honest, once we saw TBD get in the game, I mean, it was a completely different offense and things of that nature. And so he still has his SEC dive kind of approach sometimes, but you are who you are. You are who have raised you, and it's kind of hard to pull away from that. I mean, he's a young man who played at Arkansas, who played under Gus Malzahn, who has coached under Gus Malzahn, and Gus is a super run heavy guy, whether it be from the pistol or the shotgun. So we super excited for him, and he's officially taking offensive line coach Garen Justice with him over there. There's a couple of and a senior quality control analyst, offensive analyst that he brought over from SMU. He's bringing them back with him over there. There was also talks of him wanting to bring our wide receivers coach, Coach Rob Likens, over there to be his offensive coordinator. That is not official, but that was a big conversation for him. So again, it's tip of the cap to him. He stayed after last year when the Arkansas State head coaching job opened up last offseason. There was a lot of conversation there. He interviewed for it, decided to stay at Miami for another year. So it's we're happy for him. We're happy for him, and I think that's the best approach to bring in situations like this because number one, it's nothing we can do about it. He's gone. Number two, it's a good thing to show that what he's done at Miami and how he's shown to be able to kind of be more of a head coach of the offense because our head coach currently for a little bit was head coach and defensive coordinator. So he basically just kind of handed the offense to Red and just let him say, hey, run that side of the ball. He's done that for 2 years. So it showed his ability to be able to take off. And then, this is my opinion, based on the way that we kind of exploded offensively the last 6 weeks with TBD, I think it showed something. And I'm just happy that he was able to showcase that and get an opportunity as a head coach somewhere.
Yeah, certainly no surprise. We had talked about it in the offseason a number of times that if Rhett Lashley continued to build on his background, yeah, and it's nowhere close to where I can even get to it. So
it's probably George.
We'll let it run through. George would not have my personal number. There's no way that's going to happen.
Oh, I thought that was the call-in number.
That is not the call-in. That is yes, that is the phone, which anyway, we will bypass that and continue the football conversation. All right, Rhett Lashley, yes, goes to SMU because Sonny Dykes left SMU to head to TCU. And so the carousel continues. And of course, we know the big names that have been in the news the last 48 hours, Lincoln Riley, Oklahoma to USC, and Brian Kelly from Notre Dame to LSU. That opens up, of course, Oklahoma and Notre Dame. And so it continues on and on and on and on.
It's not the coaching carousel I had made in the offseason, but I had one where it was like Lane Kiffin goes to LSU and Mario comes down to Miami. Hugh Freeze goes to Oregon. What was one of the other ones I did? I had Franklin leaving Penn State to go to USC when I had the Cincinnati coach take over at Penn State for him because I mean it's similar kind of play style and things of that nature. So it was a kind of nice little little carousel that I had going on there. I wasn't right about any of them just so yet, but it was kind of cool to be able to be like, okay, well, if this happens, then where do you think they're gonna go? And all right, well, if they open there, then who's gonna replace them here? It's kind of cool, man. It's a fun thing, and college football is becoming a thing that's you have to invest in it. And these people are big time swingers, and if it doesn't work out, I can guess maybe 4 or 5 years from now the pay for coaches to have a little bit of a drop because they're going to think, why are we throwing all this money on the wall and the only one winning are still the same 2 or 3 people? So Kirby and Nick and Dabble or whatever. But who's to say that with that Oklahoma gig opening up, that the person that has really helped Clemson stick around, especially from the defensive perspective, Venables doesn't take the Oklahoma head coaching gig. So, or Josh Heupel, doing Tennessee the same way Lane Kiffin did Tennessee and doing 1 year at Tennessee and then going back to Oklahoma as the head coach there. So it can continue to go all around. And, the big question of what if is real cool.
From what I understand, even though Josh Heupel won a national championship at Oklahoma, and you would think that there would be the obvious connection and inroad there, that the relationship isn't the best between he and Bob Stoops, who is taking over the program just to coach the bowl game, but is very actively on the recruiting path and trying to be more than just a guy that's going to fill in on the sideline for one game. Bob Stoops is, he is the most recognizable and the most important current living member of the Oklahoma football family. Right. And apparently, from what I hear, since he let Josh Heupel go as an assistant coach, there's not necessarily the best of relationships there. But certainly Brent Venables, if I had to lay some money on it, I would go with him as the next Oklahoma coach. Most likely. We shall see. We shall see.